I'm Maya. One morning, I jumped out of bed as soon as I woke up and ran to the kitchen. My parents and my sister Elsie were having breakfast. I began dancing around the table singing, "I'm so excited! I'm so excited!" My parents were watching me with a smile on their faces. In a mocking tone, Elsie repeated, "I'm so excited! I'm so excited!" Unfortunately, my sister and I haven't gotten along for some time. She never misses a chance to pick a fight with me. I knew that, so I didn't pay her any attention. I was excited that morning for a good reason. I was going to get my SAT results soon. I was going to start applying for college next year, and I had to score high on my SATs to get accepted to a good one. I brought my laptop from my room. My parents and I were waiting with our eyes locked on the screen. My sister kept munching away at her breakfast, seemingly uninterested, but I knew she was just as curious about the results as I was. When the results were announced, it was a huge disappointment. I scored really low. I couldn't keep my tears from flowing. My mom gave me a hug. "Maya, please don't be upset, honey. It's just a test. Go wipe your face. It's not worth getting upset over." My dad was also very supportive. "My sweet girl. Believe me, success in school doesn't mean a thing. Don't be sad. You'll do better next time." My sister was listening to us looking shocked. "Mom, Dad, I can't believe this. You both gave me an earful for getting a C in math last week. You told me, you have one job and that's being a student. It's unacceptable that you're getting bad grades. But when it comes to Maya, you act completely differently." She turned to me. "But why am I even surprised? As everyone in this family knows, Maya is your favorite. You love her more than me and you don't even care to hide it," she said, frowning. My mom said, "Elsie, that's not true. You're both our favorites." But my sister flew out of the kitchen without even listening to her. Stroking my hair, my dad said, "Don't listen to your sister, sweetie. Whatever happens, we don't want you to get upset. That's all we care about. This doesn't matter, okay?" Mom tried to cheer me up by saying, "Does anyone want some ice cream? Let's go get a big cone of ice cream for everyone." If I'm honest, Elsie was right. I really was my parents' favorite kid. They give me a break on so many things. I didn't know why they did that. So one day, I decided to find out. After leading with, "I need to talk to you about something really important," I said to them, "Please treat us the same. The way you favor me really upsets Elsie. She acts like I'm her enemy." When Mom said, "Honey, I think you're wrong. We love both of you the same. We're not favoring you," I was surprised. There was clearly something there, but she was trying to hide it. Thankfully, my dad was more honest. "Maya, you're not supposed to get upset in any way. If we treat you differently, we have a good reason for doing so. Let's please not talk about this again, okay?" he said dismissively. My parents didn't let me bring this up again, but I often remembered what my dad had said. If we treat you differently, we have a good reason for doing so. I wondered what he meant by that. What was wrong with my sister? Why did they like her less? I thought about this a lot, but I couldn't think of a reason. My birthday was coming up. Every year, Elsie would throw a fit after my birthday party, so I wanted to warn my parents beforehand. I said to my mom, "Mom, can we please do something simple for my birthday? A small party with family." She wouldn't hear it. "Honey, that's nonsense. You're turning 16. That's a very special age. Sweet 16s are meant to be unforgettable. This year will be your biggest party yet," she said. "Mom, I'm begging you. Elsie didn't speak to me for months after my birthday party last year. Please, let's not do anything that'll upset her," I replied. She shut me up by saying, "Maya, please. You'll regret it if we don't celebrate, and that will upset you. We'll throw a big party for her when she turns 16 too." We were going to have my birthday party in our backyard. My mom and I went shopping and got me an amazing new dress. We stopped at a party store on our way home to buy decorations. When we got home, my parents and I decorated our backyard for the party. Elsie wasn't around. On the day of my party, I went to the hair salon. My dad had rented a limo for me so I could arrive at my party in it. I felt so good in the limo on my way home from the hair salon. I was so happy that my mom didn't listen to me and went ahead with this party. There was a thunder of applause when the limo arrived in front of our house. My mom had invited all my friends to the party and everyone was there to greet me. The limo driver ran to my side of the car to open my door. As I was getting out, my friends started clapping even louder. It all happened suddenly. I saw my sister in the crowd. She was carrying a small bucket. She started running towards me. Then she emptied the bucket over my head. My hair, my face, my dress was completely covered in eggs. Elsie had cracked dozens of eggs into the bucket and dumped them all over my head. I looked awful. No one was laughing, but I was sure they were just being polite. I knew they would burst out laughing once they got home. I realized some people were taking pictures of me. It was so embarrassing. Suddenly, I fell to the ground and passed out. When I opened my eyes, I was at the hospital. My parents and my sister were by my bedside. Their eyes were swollen from crying. Elsie looked like she had cried the most. When they realized I had woken up, they screamed with joy. I still felt awful. It was as if a truck had hit me. Elsie started crying. Through her tears, she said, "I'm so sorry, Maya. What I did was really awful. I feel so bad. Please forgive me." I know how you must have felt all these years. This was an emotional outburst, and I think I deserved it, I said with a faint smile. I was so scared I was going to lose you. I didn't know you were sick. If I had known, I would have never treated you like that, she said in between sobs. I turned to my parents, surprised. Sick? What does she mean, sick? I asked with great difficulty. My parents were panicking. My dad said, "Elsie is referring to you passing out. You're sick now, but you'll be fine soon," and turned to my sister. "Isn't that what you meant, Elsie?" he asked. Stuttering, she replied, "Right. When I said sick, I meant you passed out." I felt so depleted that I couldn't keep myself awake any longer. I closed my eyes. I fell asleep immediately. The next day, they released me from the hospital. After that, everything was awesome. Elsie completely transformed. My parents kept favoring me over her, but my sister had no problem with it anymore. I thought she must be feeling bad for what she'd done and started treating me really well to make up for it. Then, I woke up in the middle of the night. As I was walking to the bathroom, I remembered this dream that I'd had. I was in a hospital room. I was so scared I was going to lose you. I didn't know that you were sick. If I had known, I would have never treated you like that, Elsie was saying to me. At that moment, I had an epiphany. This wasn't a dream. Elsie had really told me all that, and she panicked afterwards because she wasn't supposed to say it. My dad tried to cover Elsie's mistake. When we had that conversation, I wasn't fully conscious yet. That's why when I first remembered it, I thought it had been a dream. Of course it wasn't. My sister obviously had found out that I was sick, and she had let it slip. But what was my disease? How could I find out? Could I discover something my dad studied? I wasn't sure, but it was worth a try. I tiptoed my way to my dad's study. Everyone was asleep, so I could take my time searching the whole room. I searched Dad's desk drawers one by one. There was nothing about me there. My dad also had a big file cabinet. I rummaged in its drawers, but none of those files were about me. My dad was a lawyer, so he had a big bookshelf full of law books. There was nowhere else to search, so I started looking through the books on the shelf. I saw a book titled Living with the Debole Syndrome. It caught my attention because it wasn't a book about law. I picked it up and flipped through its pages. Whoever had read this book had highlighted some places and taken notes in the margins. My heart started racing. This was my dad's handwriting. On one page, he wrote, "Symptom frequently observed in Maya." On another page, he highlighted some sentences and then noted, "We need to protect Maya from these." So what exactly was this Debole syndrome? I turned over the book. When I read the descriptions on the back cover, it all became clear. The Debole syndrome was a rare genetic disease. If someone had been diagnosed with this disease, they had to stay away from stress. Because when they're exposed to a high-stress situation, their body shuts their brain down, just like a computer. And this would cause the person to suddenly pass out and lose consciousness. This was exactly what happened to me when Elsie dumped all those eggs over me. That night, I found out that I was suffering from Debole syndrome. All this time, Elsie and I had been thinking that our parents were playing favorites, but the truth was different. I wasn't their favorite kid. My parents were trying to protect me from getting stressed. They tried hard to keep me happy because they knew my body would shut my brain down in high stress and upsetting situations. After I found out about my disease, I was both sad and happy. On one hand, I was sad because I was sick and had to struggle with this condition all my life. On the other hand, I was happy because my family wasn't discriminating between their children. There's only one issue left. Should I tell my parents and Elsie that I know about my disease? Would it make the situation better or worse if I told them? I need your help with this. I'd appreciate it if you could write your thoughts in the comments.